Welcome to Concord TV's Coach's Corner. I'm your host, Emily Gallagher. Today we are with Coach of the Year, Kenny Osborne, head women's basketball coach. How you doing, Kenny?
Just fine. Thank you very much, Emily.
All right. This season was a record-breaking season with having Concord's most wins, 21, maybe even more, and Concord's highest finish in the WVIAC, which was second. As a coach, how did you feel on Saturday after the 86-56 win over Bluefield State to make Concord history?
Well, I felt very good about our effort on Saturday. We played very well, got off to a great start. And then we were sitting there after the game, talking about the season, 21 wins, 18 conference wins, and the whole deal. But then Saturday night, we go home, there's a little bit of what ifs. We're one field goal away from winning the conference championship. And I probably shouldn't have done that, but, at least I got out of here to do it. But, in the overall realm of things, again, anytime you can get 20 wins in college basketball, that puts you in the upper echelon of teams. And I'm very, very pleased with it. I know the kids are very happy with it. And, again, we probably didn't have time to reflect now like we should. In a couple of weeks, when it's all said and done, we can really look back and say, what a great year we had.
Will this excitement bring any momentum into the tournament play?
I think so. We're on a 6-game winning streak right now, and again, we take what we've built on the last couple of weeks and then the whole season and try to keep our momentum going because, tournament's a new game. Anything can happen come tournament time, and we talked about that yesterday in practice, so now, again, we just got to be ready to go and try to extend our win streak and keep on rewriting history books.
What were the players' reactions to this historic season?
Well, I think, again, they enjoyed it. I think our 4 seniors saw that their career was coming to an end and saw that we had a chance to make history. And, again, good things happened. And, Anna Truckley and Holly Bibb, Kamisha Alexander, and Jolisa Brown, they really stepped up and led us and made sure that everybody stayed focused. And, I think they really relished the idea of what they have done. And again, I think even as a player that's going to take a couple weeks after the season, sit back and goes, boy, we really did that. And again, that should give the younger ones something to build on for next year and future teams.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the season. Within a week, at the end of January, beginning of February, you lost to West Liberty by 1. A few days later, you lose to Westland by 2, and then Shepherd by 7. I mean, after those tough losses, you won out the regular season with a 6-game win streak. How did the team overcome that week where it seemed like you just couldn't catch a break?
Well, I think the best thing happened to us, our next game was on the road. And it was one of those games where you have to leave and eat a pregame meal on the road. It was going to AB, so we had to eat in Flatwoods. That got us away from here. It wasn't like a home game. We had to hear more people talk about what's going on, what's wrong. And during that week, you also played West Liberty, who's traditionally one of the best teams in the conference. You played Wesleyan, who ended up winning the regular season. Shepherd finished 4th, so you played good teams. But getting away from campus about 10:30 that day, I think, helped so much, and a chance to go to AB, get to win. I mean, it was a little bit of a struggle. AB's a good team. But I think getting away from campus, playing that next game helped so much. Then we got to come back home with High Valley and Glenville, and things got on a roll from there.
All right. The conference this year was very competitive. A lot of games were won within the final minutes. Fairmont State even the final second. How are you preparing to meet these tough teams in tournament?
Well, hopefully you did all that in October, November, December, January. You prepare for your tournament as the whole season goes along. And, we practice all those situations in practice, late game situations. Jamie and myself will come up, minute and a half to go, you're up 4, 2 timeouts, and, play a scenario out. But again, you prepare for your tournament throughout the season. So hopefully, those 2 one-point losses, whether the Wesleyan and West Liberty games and the Fairmont win, all those will help us in tournament play if we get close to a game. Hopefully, Emily, the game will be over. It will be about 15 with about 2 to go, and I can actually breathe and relax a little bit. But hopefully we're prepared for close games as it should become tournament play.
All right. With the team having such success over the season, the community seemed to recognize what great talent your players had. How do you feel about the community's strong support?
It was outstanding this year, and I think we had a part to do with it. And I not only think that, but our men's program. The success they had. Kent's done a great job in his first year, and I think Saturday was a true testament to that. I heard him say there's over, had $1,100 at the gate, which is big for basketball, and the concession had $1,500. And I think as both basketball teams played a part in it, but the community outpoured has been great. I also want to mention the band. The band coming to the games has led so much atmosphere to the gym. It gives electric feeling, and you can yell and scream more during timeouts and people can't hear you. But again, it's been a great, great basketball season. And when I was at Glenville with the men coming down here, this was the toughest place to play. And hopefully what we've done and what the men have done, we can get back to that where people say, gosh, we got to go to Concord tonight. We'll have to play the greatest game of our life to even have a chance. So, but again, the sport's been great, and I hope it continues on through the tournament and into next year.
All right. Let's talk about some of your players. Senior, Jaleesa Brown, she's had a very exceptionally well season with several double-doubles.
Right.
Also, WEVAC Player of the Week honors and first team all-conference. When she's on the court, what does she bring? What kind of tempo does she bring to the players around her?
Well, Jaleesa, being a post player, she's not a traditional post player. A lot of people think of post players, you got to wait for them to get down the floor, get set, then you bring the ball to them. She helps us break the press. Glenville's a pressing team. When Glenville played in November, heck, she's taller than anybody else. We let her bring the ball to the floor. She can throw over the press, and I think she still had 25 that night and 15 rebounds or whatever it was. But Jo just brings so much because wherever she's at, 17 feet in, they got to honor her. So again, she's just an outstanding player. I feel bad for her. She did not get the Player of the Year, but as I told her yesterday, 21 wins is a heck of a feat. That's the most important thing is, again, the wins. But again, she can go inside, she can go outside, she can handle the ball. She's even shown me in practice she can hit threes. She's not shot any games yet, but she can even do that if it came down to it. But again, she's just a dynamic player, and again, we can play fast, we can play slow, whatever we need to play, we got with Jaleesa.
Kamisha Alexander, another senior, she gets very emotional during the games. For example, after like her or one of her teammates makes like a clutch play, she gets very enthusiastic, very pumped up. As a senior, what is her role on the court or even in the locker room when the team isn't playing to their potential? Well,
I think on the court, they got to guard her. And so she can, so now teams are tougher to double on Jaleesa in the post. Now people have got to get out and guard her on the perimeter. And, that's her basketball part. She's always got that smile on her face. She's always happy-go-lucky. And, again, I always get a kick out of her. She carries that backpack or like a junior high kid would. She comes bebopping in, again, with a smile on her face. So she brings that lucky-go-happy attitude to our team. And, again, she has fun playing the game. And that's what it's supposed to be. It's still supposed to be a game. But she brings that to our team, plus the emotional part. Usually when she's down, we're down. When she's up, we're up. So, again, when she's up, she brings a lot of life to our program.
All right. Senior Anna Truckley and sophomores Andrea Bertrand and Amanda Smith, they became starters this year. How have they improved since last year, and what does each of them bring to the team?
Well, I think with Truckley is that she's got a great understanding of the game, and the thing I like to mention about her, she's paid her dues. She continued to work on her game. She's improved her shooting, and they leave her to go trap Jaleesa. She's knocked down the jump shots. She gets steals for us. She's just done all the dirty work nobody wants to do, and I think that's a compliment to her. Amanda Smith, Amanda Smith is as talented as anybody we got offensively. She's figured out what she's supposed to do on both ends of the floor is what helps her get in the starting lineup. And Bertrand was probably good enough to start as a freshman, but she played behind a senior, and she just kind of, again, won the job because, again, she had the most experience coming in. But without Bertrand, we don't win 21 games. I know a lot of people told me back 1st of January, said, everybody thinks it's going to be Jaleesa and Commission for your keys. It's going to be Bertrand. And there's no doubt they were right. She feeds off Jaleesa very well. Again, Bertrand's a very, very good player, and, I only expect her to get better for us in the next couple of years.
Mm-hmm. Well, every team has those one or two players that bring positivity every time they come to practice, every time they come to the game, no matter what. Who would you say plays that role on your team?
Well, Emily, I think we have two. Katie Somerville is a team clown. She keeps everybody really loose. In fact, senior day, she sang a song to her seniors, and everybody cracked up. But she keeps everybody loose in that part of it. And everybody, again, laughs at Katie, and Katie has a good time with it. The other player, there's no doubt in my mind, is Ashley Brown. Ashley, we cannot have good practice. Ashley plays so hard. Like if a trainer's got to hold her out a day, we don't practice as well. On Wednesday, she's got a class that runs till 3:50, so she's 20 minutes late getting here. We're 20 minutes sluggish till Ashley shows up. So again, with Ashley's play on the floor, her hard work, her intensity on and off the floor, making everybody else better, and Katie's just being the team clown, team, that type of thing. Those two right there mean so much to our team. You can't put a so-called price value on Ashley Brown and Katie Somerville.
All right. Well, you got tournament this week. You start in the number 2 spot, and you play Wheeling Jesuit
Right.
at home for the first round. What are you going to tell your girls before the game to get their mindset for the meeting of Wheeling for the 3rd time?
Everybody's 0-0. That's no analogy. You hear the people on TV talk about it. You know, tournament time, anything can happen. You know, they have everything to gain, nothing to lose coming in here. We've got a lot of stuff to lose. So again, we got to be focused on what's at hand. Plus, you know, again, talking about rewriting history. You know, we got a chance to get the 22nd win, set the school record, advance in tournament play. And I don't know, faculty want to hear this. I said, take care of business tonight. You bought yourself out a couple of days of school. Take care of the next game. You bought your whole week off from school. So again, I use everything I can in layman's terms to get them focused. You know, the old analogy, you can't beat someone 3 times. Well, last year we beat state 3 times in the tournament. It can be done. It's a little harder to do, but again, just the focused part of getting ready to play, not listening to outside sources, and I think we'll be okay.
You had 1 day between the last game of the regular season and the first round of the tournament.
Right.
How do you use the final game on Saturday against Bluefield and Sunday's practice to prepare your team for Monday against Wheeling?
Well, with senior day, and senior days are very emotional, but with the intensity level we had starting out, you got to start out with that in your tournament, so we want to carry that over. You know, one thing helped, we got everybody about 4 or 5 minutes against Bluefield State, so we got to rest Jolisa Brown, Kamisha Alexander, and some of them a little bit. You know, practice yesterday, all we could do was shoot a little bit because you can't beat them up, and there's not a lot of things you can do this time of the season. So again, just the intensity level, and again, the mental part of it, what we wanted to use from Saturday to Monday and prepare for Wheeling tonight.
All right. As a coach, do you have any pregame rituals that you do, superstitions?
Yes, I do. When we have a weekday home game, we don't get to eat a pregame meal team together, playing at 5:30, kids and class schedules. I always like to go to Texas Steakhouse by myself and get the chopped steak dinner plain and French fries, salad with jalapeno ranch dressing, and unsweet tea. If it's a team meal at Bob Evans, sometimes I always get the sausage and cheese omelet, bacon well done, home fries, the whole deal. So I eat the same thing every time. I leave the house 2 hours before game time. When I get out here, first thing I do is I hang my coat on the middle hook of my office. I drink a bottle of water. So yeah, I have some pregame ritual superstitions that I use a lot. So, but again, I don't know if it helps with wins, but it makes me feel better that I do. So.
All right. Well, you know, some would say you're very passionate during the game, but I mean, you're always pushing players to do their best. Do you think that you ever scare some of your players when you yell at them, even though you're wanting them to do their best?
Well, that's a good question, and hopefully I yell at them the same in September, October as I do in November, December, January, February. So hopefully come game time they're used to it. You know, they've heard me go off the deep end, yell, scream, maybe throw a 4-letter word in there on occasion. But I just think if you do it the same way every time, they're going to be accustomed to it. Mm-hmm. And I think the older they get, they know when I'm actually meaning something or I'm just venting to be venting. So I think as they get older, they figure me out, and it makes it a lot easier. But it may scare them in September, but September doesn't mean a lot as February does.
Yeah. Are you ready for Wheeling?
I'm ready, but I can't play. I'm out of eligibility. I'm about 50 pounds too heavy. But I'm ready. I think they'll be ready. I'll be very disappointed if they don't come in really ready with an intense effort.
All right. Well, you want to say anything about the season?
Well, again, I just thank all the community people, all the campus people for their support. Again, the band coming to games, the student support, getting out, hollering, screaming at the games. It's one of those years in coaching you dream about and you never want it to end. I know coaches sometimes have coached for 30 years and never had a season like we had this year. So, you know, sometimes I am very selfish. I don't acknowledge like I should. But, again, it's one of those years you never forget, and hopefully it'll continue on a couple more weeks.
All right. Well, thank you for taking time to talk with me. Congratulations on a fantastic season and Coach of the Year. Yay.
All right. Thank you very much, Emily. I've enjoyed it.
Well, that's it for this edition of Concord TV's Coach's Corner. Check back when Wes McKinney interviews head coach of the men's basketball team, Kent McBride. Thank you.